Mrs. Smith. My name is Sandy, and I'm your nursing assistant, and I'm here to help you drain your urinary drainage bag. But first I'm going to go wash my hands. I'm going to check the bed breaks on the bed, and they are locked. I'll go around and pull the privacy curtain all the way around the bed. And I want to make sure that I gather all of my supplies. The supplies I need would be a barrier for the chair. I need a graduated cylinder. I need a barrier for the floor. I need 2 alcohol wipes and a pair of gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and place my gloves on. And at this point, I would go ahead and open the alcohol wipes so that they're handy and ready for me when it's time for me to wipe the drain. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the drainage tubing, making sure that my patient isn't lying on it, and making sure that there's a free-flowing coil on the bed, and making sure that that coil is actually clipped to the sheets. I'm also going to check and make sure that my patient has her call light, and she does. And I'm then going to start by placing a barrier on the floor and placing the graduated cylinder on top of that barrier. I'm going to bring the drainage bag over towards the cylinder, and I'm going to remove the spout of the drainage bag from the bag itself by pinching together this clothespin-like clamp. So I pinch the clothespin-like clamp, and that allows me to remove the spout from the drainage bag. I'll hold the spout over the graduated cylinder, and I'll open the clamp simply by pushing on the lever of the clamp and pushing the clamp downward. And once I do that, urine will start flowing as I let go of the clamp. And I may have to move the bag around just a little bit, and I want to drain that urine until the bag is completely empty. And I'm being very careful not to let the spout touch anything. I don't want the spout to touch the graduated cylinder. I don't want my fingers to touch the spout, and I don't want the spout to be in the urine as I drain it. So once the bag is completely empty, I'm then going to close the clamp so that no more urine can flow out. And I'm going to take my alcohol pad and I'm going to wipe the end. Again, making sure that the only thing that touches the end of that spout is the alcohol pad. And I'll wipe all the way around. Then I have one more alcohol pad left. And I'm going to use this alcohol pad possibly just to wipe any kind of crusts or urine right here from the spout holder. And I don't want to stick my fingers into the spout holder. I just use the alcohol pad to wipe around it without touching it with my fingers. Once those are wiped, I can then place the spout into the drainage bag. And at this point, I'm ready to go ahead and go to the toilet and measure the contents of my graduated cylinder. And I can actually use one of my paper towels that I brought with me as a barrier, as a cover to go across my graduated cylinder. Once I'm in the bathroom, I'm going to place my graduated cylinder on a barrier, which I've already placed in advance. I'm going to place it there, and I'm going to read it at eye level. And it looks like Mrs. Smith's Foley bag had 75 cc's of urine in it, so that's what I'll document. I'll also note the color, the clarity, the odor, and if there are any particles present. At this point, I'll lift the toilet seat and bring down the sprayer, and bring my graduate down, and I'll empty it into the toilet. And I'll flush the toilet. I'll disinfect both the outside and the inside of the graduated cylinder. And I'll dry it. can set it on my barrier temporarily. And I'll also make sure that I bring the spout up, close the toilet lid, and if there's any urine left in the toilet or around the toilet, I would clean that up, and I would also make sure that the toilet is completely flushed. At this point, I'm ready to remove one glove. So I'll remove my glove, throw my barriers in the trash, and take this back to my patient's bedside stand. With one hand, I'll open the bedside stand, and I'll store the graduated cylinder in my patient's bedside stand. At this point, I'm finished working with everything dirty, so I can remove my second glove. Earlier in the skill, I had already checked the drainage tubing to make sure it was free-flowing, and I'd already ensured that my patient had the call light, so that all that's left to do is open the privacy curtain and wash my hands. And then, of course, I'll want to document. So I'll place the candidate's printed name, which will be my name, and the patient name, Mary Smith. And for output, she had 75 cc's of urine in her Foley bag. I could even add the word urine behind that 75 cc's. The date, 10/16/2012. The time is 1 o'clock. So in military time, that's going to be 1300 hours. And then I sign it, my full first name, my full last name, and my title. And as a student, your title will be a student, STNA. And with that, the skill is complete.